Hello, this is the sermon for All Saints Sunday, and the reading preached on is the Gospel reading, Luke chapter 6, verses 20 to 31. Jesus offers a challenging perspective on who counts as blessed. Blessed are you who are poor, he says, for yours is the kingdom of God. Blessed are you who are hungry now, for you will be filled. Blessed are you who weep now, for you will laugh. Blessed are you when people hate you, and when they exclude you, revile you, and defame you, on account of the Son of Man. Rejoice on that day and leap for joy, for surely your reward is great in heaven. For that is what their ancestors did to the prophets. Surely poverty, hunger, grief, and exclusion are not blessings to be celebrated. One commentator states that Jesus is engaged in an ironic reimagining of the present. Jesus is not saying that these circumstances are blessings. He is saying that those who have to endure them are blessed. You can see the irony. Anyone enduring such circumstances is not going to think that they are blessed. So Jesus' blessings here are indeed a challenge. Jesus utters these blessings because of his understanding of the nature of the kingdom of God. A kingdom, he says, which belongs to the poor. This kingdom, or reign, awaited future fulfillment. It would be at the coming of God's kingdom in its fullness, when the hungry would be filled and the mourners would laugh. Yet God's kingdom was for Jesus not merely a future promise. God's kingdom was already coming to exist through Jesus' own ministry. Jesus would turn mourning into joy, as when he revived a young girl or raised a widow's only son from the dead. Jesus would fill the hungry, as when he provided a meal for more than 5,000 people from 5 loaves and 2 fish, in which all ate and were filled. Jesus would convey God's gracious favor to the marginalized and excluded, as when he ate and drank with outcasts and sinners, and when he told a woman who was rejected by society that her faith had saved her. Jesus undertook in his ministry to make the blessings he pronounces on the poor, the hungry, the grieving, and the excluded and marginalized come to pass. Now Jesus says that those who are blessed are those enduring hardship, but as the word is commonly used nowadays, we take it to mean the opposite. Those who are blessed, we say, are those who, for example, are in good health, or who are doing well for themselves, that sort of thing. But Jesus challenges our conventional understanding of blessing head-on with his corresponding woes. But woe to you who are rich, he says, for you have received your consolation. Woe to you who are full now, for you will be hungry. Woe to you who are laughing now, for you will mourn and weep. Woe to you when all speak well of you, for that is what their ancestors did to the false prophets. Jesus' woes are challenging indeed, especially for people like us. We might say that we are blessed in the conventional sense, but Jesus says that wealth, happiness, security, good reputation, and the like are not signs of blessedness, but potentially bad news for those who enjoy them. So much for the social media hashtag blessed. From a certain perspective, however, Jesus' woes make sense. The supposed blessedness we may feel when we enjoy wealth, good health, and the like often proves to be an illusion. We can see this even in ordinary life, as when someone receives a cancer diagnosis or a loved one dies suddenly. When such things happen to us, we discover that all of those privileges we enjoyed that appeared to be blessings to us are of no help whatsoever. All we have to cope with hardship is our inner strength and the strength of our relationships with other people. The conventional notion of blessing, then, is inadequate in the face of both ordinary experience and of Jesus' teaching that those who are truly blessed are the poor, the hungry, the mourning, and the marginalized. Effectively, anyone enduring severe hardship. So we need to explore what being blessed really looks like. When Jesus says that those who are enduring hardship are blessed, he is saying that they are recipients of God's gracious favor. We saw how Jesus made that blessing real in his own ministry. God's favor for the poor and the excluded was exhibited in everything Jesus said and did. So perhaps those who endure hardship are blessed because they are of special concern to God. Now, being blessed does not necessarily mean a change in circumstances. Those enduring hardship are not relieved of it because they are blessed by God. But it does mean that God's care, the presence of God's Spirit, is with those who suffer. A blessing in this sense transforms the recipient, even if that transformation is not visible. When we bless the bread and wine during the Holy Eucharist, for example, we affirm that they have become for us the body and blood of Christ. Yet there is no outward change in the elements to show that this transformation has taken place. The bread, for instance, is as chewy and tasteless as ever. Yet when we receive the consecrated bread and wine, we are united with Christ. A transformation has happened. To say that those enduring hardship are blessed is to say that they have been transformed by God's gracious favor, even if that transformation is not visible to the senses. Those enduring hardship may still have to undergo it, but the transformation is that now they are the objects of God's special attention, care, and love. Society may exclude, deride, or avoid them, but God accepts them. And when those who are called to be God's hands and feet in the world live into that calling and demonstrate God's care to those enduring hardship, then that blessing, that transformation, is made real, just as it was when Jesus demonstrated God's care to those he encountered. And all this is good news for us, because it means that when we experience hardship, we are blessed by God. Whenever we suffer, we are the objects of God's special attention, care, and love. That blessing may not be visible, for we still have to face the hardship, but it is real nevertheless. And we don't even have to wait to suffer hardship to consider ourselves blessed by God, for we affirm by faith that we have received God's blessing at our baptism. When a person receives God's blessing, they are the recipient of God's gracious favor. Another word for someone who has received God's gracious favor is saint. Now, we tend to think of saints as extraordinary people. That is, they have earned the title of saint, we believe, because of their extraordinary deeds or virtue. But it's not what people do or how they live that makes them saints. It's that God has blessed them. And this is why we affirm yet another source of blessing to us, which is the communion of saints. We are in relationship not only with each other, but with all those who have died and who now rest in the peace of God. This is why some churches often mark the celebration of All Saints' Day with special observances, like lighting candles to represent loved ones who have died. We are affirming that we are still blessed by their presence with us, a presence that has been transformed, a presence which is not visible to us, but from which we can still draw strength and support. So as you go forth from this place today, know that you are blessed, even if, indeed, especially if, you are enduring hardship. God's favor dwells with you, and the communion of saints is in relationship with you. You belong among the number of the saints of God, and you are blessed.